Well, good morning, everybody. Let's get started. Come to the front of your chairs. We'll get started with our warm-up. So let's start with some marching. And as you march, I want you to raise your opposite arm. So we'll march with opposite arm and leg. Let's do 30 of these to get warm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we're going to do some combination moves with our power moves. So the first piece of our next move will be a power up. And then after doing that power up, I want you to do a jab, jab. So we're going to put those two pieces together. Power up, jab, jab, and then 2 marches like we just did. March, march. So from start to finish, again, it's power up, jab, jab, march, march. Okay? Let's repeat that 10 times through. Power up, jab, jab, march, march. 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 I believe that's 5. I think we're halfway. Power up, jab, jab, march, march. 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 One more time. Power up, jab, jab, march, march. Okay, second round of that, we're gonna have a little bit of variety. Now we're gonna do the power rock. So we're gonna work our way down the power moves. We're still gonna do a march, but we'll change our punches. So we'll do a power rock to each side. And instead of doing 2 jabs, let's do a cross, cross. And then we'll go back to that march, march. So again, we'll do this one 10 times through. We're doing a power rock, this time a cross, cross, and then 2 marches again. Opposite arm and leg raise, okay? So you can follow along with me. That's our first one. We've got 9 more. So power rock, cross, cross, march, march. Power rock, cross, cross, march, march. So with the power up, think about opening your fingers wide. With our cross, we're closing our fist again, but then I want you to open your fingers again when you do your march. So it's intentionally opening those fingers wide for the power rock piece, and then for the march after you close them for your punch, okay? So let's get back to it. Power rock, cross, cross, march, march. Power rock, cross, cross, march, march. I think that's halfway. Power rock, cross, cross, march, march. 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 One more time. Power rock, cross, cross, march, march. All right, working our way down. Next, we're going to our power twist. So we'll do a power twist on each side. Our boxing move that we'll do for this one is a hook. So a hook, hook, and then same march, march, march. And same thing with your fingers. So you'll start with them wide for your clap as you twist, but then closing your fist for your hook. But then think about opening your fingers wide when you do that march again. Okay, 10 times through. So we have power twist, hook, hook, march, march, twist, 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 twist, hook, hook, march, march. One more. Twist, twist, hook, hook, march, march. All right, working our way down the line. Next, we're doing our power step. So stepping out and back in with each leg, really exaggerating how high you're lifting your knee. My fingers are wide as I'm reaching. And then our last boxing move that we'll do is an uppercut. It's an uppercut, uppercut, and again, that march at the end. Okay, our last pattern of coordinations. Let's get started with our step, step, uppercut, uppercut, march, march, 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 step, step, uppercut, uppercut, march, march. We're halfway done. Step, step, uppercut, uppercut, march, march, 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 step, step, uppercut, uppercut, march, march. Last time. Step, step, uppercut, uppercut, march, march. Nice job. Got our brains warming up too here. And then last warm-up exercise, let's do just do a stretch up to your knee to your chest. And let's do some ankle circles here. Let's rotate your ankle 5 times in one direction. And then switch directions, do 5 times going in the opposite direction. And then switch legs, bring the other leg up to your chest and rotate that ankle 5 times in one direction. And then 5 times in the opposite direction. All right, so we're gonna move into some intervals. I'm gonna demo these first. You don't have to join me. So this one, we've done this exercise before, but I'm adding another layer of coordination to it. We're doing a sit to stand, standing up tall, and then I'm gonna have you side step around your chair while facing forward with the intention of having to keep your steps big even as you're changing directions. So I want you really to emphasize taking large steps as opposed to quick little ones as you move. Even if you're going slower, I'd rather have you taking big steps that stay controlled rather than letting your steps get small. So as you're doing that sidestepping, I want you to do cross punches every step. I want you to do a cross. Ideally, coordinate it with the same leg that's punching, but you can start with just making sure that your arms are moving too. But eventually you want to time it with your step. So that's our first exercise. We're with the boxing theme today. So our next exercise is going to be a punching combination. I'm going to use my weights for this. Again, this is just demo, so you don't have to join me yet, unless you want to practice. So the first one I'm going to do is a jab, cross, uppercut, and then I'm going to do a duck and a side step. So I'm going to duck, like I'm ducking under a punch, and I sidestep to my right, and then I'm going to do the reverse of that. So then I'm going to do an uppercut, jab, cross, jab, duck, back to my jab, cross, uppercut, duck, uppercut, cross, jab. So that's the basis of that second exercise. Bonus points, you can alternate which hand leads the punches. So that maybe on my first round, when I do my first 2 combinations, my jab, cross, uppercut, I'm leading with my right hand. And I'll lead with my right hand for my uppercut, cross, jab. And then when I come back, this time I'll lead with my left hand. Jab, cross, uppercut, duck. Again, I'll lead with my left hand. Uppercut, cross, jab. So just different ways to make it more challenging for yourself. Start with it as is, doing those 2 sequences, but then if you're ready for that next level, alternate which hand leads. And then our third exercise is a bent over row. You can do this a couple of different ways. If you have the back of your couch or a counter, back of your chair, we're just doing a bent over row. So you really don't even need to be in a plank position. You can have one foot in front. And I have my opposite leg to my side that's rowing. I think it helps keep my hips even. And with my row, I'm keeping my elbow close to my body and just bringing it straight back. But you can also do this sitting in your chair, leaning over and doing a row here, okay? I'll tell you when we're halfway and you can switch arms. So those are our 3 exercises of our first circuit. We're going to do it twice through, 1 minute on, 30 seconds off. Go ahead and stand up. We're going to get ready for that first exercise, which is the sit to stand with the walk around the chair. No weights for this one unless you want to. So we'll start from sitting. Looks like most people are ready. Okay, let's begin. We'll stand up, and then as I sidestep, I'm gonna add that punch, focusing on big steps as I walk. When I get back to the chair, I'll sit down and repeat. And I'm gonna switch directions too. Nice job, everybody. Halfway done. Emphasis on slow and bigger steps. I have about 10 seconds left. I'll turn my volume on. Okay, rest. 30 seconds to rest. Our next exercise is going to be that boxing combo. I'm going to use my weights for this. You can do it with or without. The first combo is going to be the jab, cross, uppercut. And then after you do that duck and side step, you're just going to reverse it. So it's an uppercut, cross, jab. 5 seconds to get ready. And begin. We have our jab, cross, uppercut, duck, uppercut, cross, jab. You can switch hands on this next one if you want to. Jab, cross, uppercut, duck, uppercut, cross, jab. Jab, cross, uppercut, uppercut, cross, jab. Jab, cross, uppercut, uppercut, cross, jab. Halfway done. Jab, cross, uppercut, uppercut, cross, jab. Jab, cross, uppercut, uppercut, cross, jab. Jab, cross, uppercut, uppercut, cross, jab. 3 seconds. All right, 30 seconds to rest. Next, we have our bent over row. So leaning on the back of your couch, on the back of your chair, or in your seat. You still have 15 seconds. And your choice. I will let you know when we're halfway done if you want to switch arms, but you can stick to the same arm the whole time, so that way you don't have to adjust your feet. Totally up to you. All right, let's get started. My elbow stays close to my side. Make sure you are leaning forward a bit so that my elbow is going straight up against gravity. We are about halfway done if you want to switch arms. All right, 30 seconds to rest. We're going back to the top with that first exercise. The sit to stand with a walk around your chair, coordinating a cross punch with each step. And it's hard to coordinate it with the timing of your steps. So even if you just want to punch at the same time as you're stepping, but then that next level will be trying to coordinate it with your steps. That's tricky. All right, sit to stand. Taking big steps. My emphasis is on long steps. I didn't do this well last time, but try to alternate what direction you go. I forgot to grab my weights, but you can do this with weights to add more of a challenge, or you can do it without. 15 seconds. and rest. Good, 30 seconds to rest. Next, we have our boxing combination. We're gonna stick with the same combo. As a reminder, it's a jab, cross, uppercut, and then you'll duck and sidestep, and then it's a reverse uppercut, cross, jab. This time, see if you can alternate which hand leads. So for the first the two combos, I did leading with my right hand. And then second time, I'll use my left. Go ahead and begin. Jab, cross, uppercut. Uppercut, cross, jab. I'm not going to say it out loud in case you're at different timing than me. I don't want to throw you off. Fifteen seconds to go. All right, 30 seconds to rest. Our last exercise of this first circuit is that bent over row. Either sitting or bracing your arm. Careful with the back of the chair if it's tippy. You still have 10 seconds to get ready. All right, let's begin. I'll tell you when we're halfway. If you did not switch last time, make sure you're getting your other arm this time. We are halfway. If you want to switch arms. All right, go ahead and take a break. Grab some water. That's the end of our first circuit. Activity completed. So grab some water and then we will do our second round on here. New exercises. I am just double checking what floor exercises we're doing today. All right, so I'm gonna start demoing the next three exercises. You don't have to join me yet. The first one is side stepping with an overhead press. So step out together. Every step, I'm pushing my arms up and then coming back down to about shoulder height. Try this first with just the weight of your arms. Make sure that you don't have any discomfort. And if that feels fine, add the weights with it. If that hurts reaching overhead, you could opt for a forward press instead. If you have pain reaching overhead, that's a good option. Our second exercise is a sit to stand. And once you're standing, it's going to be a power step to each side. I'm putting my weights on either side of my foot so that I have an obstacle to step over. I'll move my camera down so you can see that view. So after I do my sit to stand, I'm going to do a power step over that weight to each side before I sit down and repeat it. So that's our second exercise. And then the third exercise is a side jack or a half jumping jack. So stepping out and in, or you can do a full jumping jack. Okay, you could also do that seated. Do your side to side, or you could do a full jumping jack while you're sitting. Okay. A good option for that is holding on to the back of your chair if you want a little bit of support, or try holding on with two hands to jump out and jump in. Okay, lots of options for that third one. So I'm going to get my timer set up and we'll get started with that first exercise. Same as before, doing 1 minute on and 30 seconds off. Grab your hand weights for this one. And let's get started. So with every step, I'm doing that overhead press. Or I'm doing my chest press if I have pain in my shoulders with reaching overhead. Try to coordinate that with your side steps. And at any time, if you start having fatigue in your shoulders where they're not lifting as well, drop the weights and just do it with your arm weight. Ten seconds to go. Good job. All right, 30 seconds to rest. Get yourself set up for that sit to stand, where you have your obstacles on either side of your foot, so that once you do the sit to stand, we're doing a power step over that obstacle. About 10 seconds to get ready. All right, let's begin. So sit to stand, power step, and sit down and repeat. Stepping over that obstacle. All right, go ahead and rest. Third exercise we have is either a full jumping jack or a side jumping jack. Seated or standing. or supported, where you're holding onto the back of your chair, doing this one side or jumping. So lots of options. 5 seconds to get ready for this last one. All right, let's begin. So you have your side to side, or you have your full jumping jack, okay? Looking good, everybody. You're halfway done. Ten seconds to go. Keep it up. And rest. Good work. We have one more round of those 3 exercises. Go ahead and grab your weights for that overhead press, or get yourself set up if you're not using weights. 10 seconds to get ready. And let's begin. So with each step, you're coordinating that arm movement. Halfway done. Keep it up, 10 seconds to go. And rest. All right, we're setting up for our sit to stands with that power step. So grab your hand weights or an obstacle to set down next to you. If you're staying seated for this exercise and you aren't doing the sit to stand, do the first part as a power up, where you do a power up first and then do your power step over that obstacle in sitting. All right, let's begin. Sit to stand, power step over that obstacle, and repeat. Ten seconds left. All right, 30 seconds. 30-second break here. Last, we're doing that side jack or full jumping jack. Your options are seated or standing, doing a half or full. 10 seconds to get ready. Last interval exercise. Here we go. You can do your half jack, side stepping with one leg, or your full jumping jack. You can even alternate between them. Do a little bit as a full and then move into a side jack. Think about big arm movements, big step as you do this. Halfway done. Ten seconds to go. Okay, go ahead and take a break. Good work, everybody. So grab some water. We're gonna do another standing exercise before we get down onto our mats for our power moves. So I'll start to explain this while you're grabbing some water. This is similar. We're gonna kind of use the principle of the clock your size exercise that you may have done with us in the online classes before, where we're going to practice stepping in different directions that I call out. So I'm going to associate each of our four corners with a different color. So up and to my left, which might be your right, is going to be red. So this direction will be red. This direction forward and to my right might be your left is yellow. Back into that same direction, my right, is green. And then our final direction back into my left is blue. So for each of those, we'll practice that together, stepping to each of those corners. So go ahead and stand up with me. And let's practice that a couple times, just stepping to that direction. You can also do this holding on to something. If you want a little bit of support, do this behind your chair. You can still step in those directions while holding on to something. Or you can do this seated. If you're seated in your chair, you can still step forward to each side and backwards would just be stepping behind you. So if you're seated, you can still follow along with these same colors. Okay. So let's step to these colors and I want you to call them out loud at home because this is going to help you remember them. So our first direction, this is red. This is yellow. This is green. And this is blue. So I'm stepping in a diagonal for each of these. I want you to focus on lifting your foot high. Think about taking a big step, but I want you also to step only as far as you can come all the way back into the middle each time. So if it takes you a couple steps to get there, that's too far. Do it so that you can step back in one go. All right, let's do that 2 more times. Again, call these colors out loud. This is red. We're just memorizing them right now. Yellow, green, blue. Same thing, red, yellow, green, and blue. All right, now I'm going to call them out randomly. And I want you to step to the color that you hear. And I'll do it with you as well. So let's do green, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, green, red, yellow, blue, red, green, red, yellow, blue. Last one for now, green. All right, now I'm going to give you a few colors in a row, and I want you to step to that pattern. So for example, if I say red, green, yellow, you would step to red and then back to the middle, green, and then back to the middle, and then yellow. and back to the middle, okay? So we'll do 3 colors in a row this time. Let's do blue, red, green. So I'll step to blue, red, and green. I hope that makes sense so far. Let's do yellow, red, blue. Green, red, green. Yellow, blue, red. And green, yellow, blue. Yellow, red, green. Blue, green, yellow. Couple more. Red, green, blue. Yellow, blue, green. Last one. Red, green, yellow, blue. Okay, perfect. One more version I want to try with this is I'm going to go back to just calling one at a time. But when you step to that color, I want you to name something that's that color. And so I won't talk with this one so that I don't override what you're saying at home. So for example, if I call yellow, name something that is that color. So I could say sunflower as I step to yellow. And get creative with it. I feel like food ones are always the easiest ones for us to do with this, but it can be anything. It can be something outside. It can be something that you have in your room around you. So as you're stepping, say something out loud that is that color, and practice using a loud voice too, really projecting as you call it. So I'll call a color, I'll still step, but I won't be saying an object. I want you to say an object at home. Okay? So let's start with red. Green. Blue. Yellow. Green. Red. Yellow. Blue. We'll do one more. Dig deep for these third version. They should be new each time. See if you can do it without repeating. Green. Red. Yellow. And blue. Okay, let's mix it up a little bit. So instead of naming something that is that color, I want you to take the first letter of that color and name another word or another object that starts with that same color. So I'll give a couple examples for this, because this is a little bit more confusing. So if I say red, red starts with an R. So name a different word that starts with the letter R. So I could say roof for red. Yellow's tricky. There are less Y words that come to mind. But if I say yellow, yellow starts with W, or yeah, Y, I was gonna say W, and name something that also starts with a Y. So I could say yarn. And it doesn't even have to be an object. If you're stuck, name a word that also starts with that same letter. So green, that would be G. I'm gonna name something that starts with a G. So I can say garage. Does not have to be that same color, but now we're thinking about that letter, okay? So let's do a couple with this version. Let's start with blue. So you'll name something that starts with the letter B. Let's do green. Red. yellow, green, blue, yellow, red, blue, green, red, yellow. Couple more. Blue, green, and red. Nice. Good job, everybody. You made it through the brain twisters of today. Let's get set up for our power moves. We're going to do these on the ground today. Sorry, that was very loud as I set that down. As you are getting set up, if you're most comfortable staying in your chair, you can do the power moves in your chair instead. I'll remind you of my favorite options with these. If you have trouble balancing when you're in that all fours position, specifically with the power up, when you're coming from here back down, if that's a tricky transition, or if you're having trouble with the power step, bringing your foot all the way up, this is my favorite position for you, where your hands are supported on your chair, and it is so much easier to control those movements. So our first move is the power up. If you're seated, I'll remind you of what that looks like. You're coming down forward, and then you're reaching your arms out wide. And it looks like people are making their way, so I'll give you one more minute to get down onto your mat before we start these. Most people are there, if not close. And then if you're on all fours in this position, the power up is doing a small elbow bend and then kneeling tall so that your arms come out wide. And I really want to think about pushing my hips forward with this so that I'm making my spine super long. So let's do 10 of these. Count up by twos with me. You ready? Let's get started. So we'll come down, 2, down, 4, down, 6, down, 8, down, 10, down, 12, down, 14, down, 16, down, 18, and 20. All right, our next power move is our power rock. So I like to move my hands further in front of me. I feel like I'm able to get a little bit further into it. So the first part is sitting your hips back and then rocking your hips forward. My elbows stay straight. I don't bend my elbows for any part of this. If you're seated, I'll remind you of this move. You're reaching up and across, resetting in the middle, and reaching up and across to the other side. That's your seated version. But let's do 10 of these together. Why don't we count backwards by 3s from 30 for this one? So let's rock back and then rock forward. This will be 30. Rock back. 27. Rock back. 26. 24. Confusing myself. 21. 18. 15. 12. 9. 6. And 3. Good, we're gonna do our power twist next. So for this power twist, I'm reaching one arm up towards the ceiling as far as I can. I'm looking up at my hand, and then I'm tucking my arm through like I'm threading the needle, pushing my shoulder down towards the mat. If you're seated in your chair, remember that your arms start wide. You're turning to clap, opening, and then twisting to the other side. All right. So let's do 10 in total of these. Let's count up by fives, and I'll have you alternate side to side as you do it, okay? So let's reach one arm up and then tuck through. This will be 5. Switch sides, reach up. 10. Reach up. 15. Reach up. 20. Reach up. 25. Reach up. 30. Reach up. 35. Reach up. 40. Reach up. 45. And last one. 50. Our last power move is our power step. So for this move, I'm building some momentum by rocking backwards. And then from this position, I'm stepping my leg forward so that my foot is up next to my hand. If you have a hard time stepping that far, this is the best position for you. Rocking back, and it's so much easier to swing that leg forward. If you're seated, remember that you're doing that exaggerated step out and back in. We did a lot of versions of that today. All right, let's do 10 of these in total. Let me count up by 10s for this last one. Rock back, 10, and I'm going to switch legs each time. Rock back, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Awesome. So I want to try to do some of our stretching on the ground today. The first stretch that we're going to do, I'm bringing my chair up next to you. Maybe you'd be kneeling next to your chair so that you can have a little bit of support. But the first one we're going to do is a hip stretch. So bring one leg forward into this position. You can also do this in standing, having one leg behind you and one leg in front. And I'm just going to lean my hips forward until I feel a stretch on the front of my leg. And you can really lean most of your weight on a chair so that you don't have to balance. So go ahead and join me in this position and we're going to do a stretch. So one leg is up forward and I'm leaning my other hip forward so that I feel a pull on my hip flexor in the front. I'm going to count for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now straighten this knee out in the front. This is our hamstring stretch. You can do this, and so make sure you're holding on to something if you need some balance. You can also, if you're seated, straighten your leg out in front of you, and then we're all gonna lean forward until you feel a pull behind. Again, I'm using my chair to balance if I need some support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's switch legs now. So that your other leg is up forward. We'll start with that hip flexor stretch. Again, if you're not kneeling, you can do this in standing, where one leg is behind you and one leg is in front. And either way, we're leaning our hip forward so that you feel a pull on the front. Let's hold this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then straighten that leg out in front of you. Keep this knee straight, or you're sitting and you're straightening this knee out in front of you. And we're gonna lean forward until you feel a pull on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Go back onto all fours. And we're gonna do a cat-cow. So I'm turning sideways so you can see my back. You can do this in sitting by bringing your hands on your knees. And we're rounding our back up. And then dropping our back down. So my elbows stay relatively straight. All the motion is coming from my spine. Rounding up. And then letting my back drop down. Okay, let's do this 10 times. And sitting, your hands are gonna be on your knees. You're doing the same thing. Arching your back. And dropping down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, come back up to your chair. We'll do 2 more stretches sitting down. Great work today. Let's bring our knee up to our chest again. Give everyone a moment to transition. 2 more stretches and sitting, and we're all set. All right, looks like most people are back. So we're gonna do a 10-second hold with that knee up to our chest. You can do your ankle roll or just hold it. We'll hold for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And let's do a rotation stretch through our spine. So I'm reaching across to plant my hand on my knee, and then I'm reaching for the back of my chair to hold this twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, everybody. Great work today. Really nice to be with you, and I will see you all next Monday.